there's 3 things to know about weed. There is 2 things to know about pot.
I don't remember.
One is bad for your memory, and the other one a plum forgot. Whoa,
It's deep.
Gonna make you dumb.
It's very deep.
But it's gonna feel pretty profound.
It's really deep.
You learn to say, honey, I can't, and baby, it's just a plant. Why you strong as a palm on the ground? It's just a plant, like poppies and sugar cane.
Get it? Opium? Heroin.
Okay.
There we go.
Just a song, but the self-administration of your favorite bomb.
Okay, how long is this? Nothing wrong with this, but it's pretty long. Guys, you just wanna, this is a conversation starter. It's not supposed to. Oh my God! Yes, I understand. Okay, I didn't mean to do this. This is too long. I don't want to be rude. I'm letting this guy talk. Wait, whoa. Okay, let's get a pause. Okay. And, wait. Look at this. Welcome back. Lady and gentlemen. Now, let's look at this. Weed. This is, guys. There is nothing wrong with weed. There's also, nothing, in most things, here's what it is. He says, weed's going to make you a dumbass, right? Right, let's think about that. Weed's going to make you a dumbass. You are not going to be you. You're going to be a dumbass. And that's what, and weed's going to do that to you. You're not going to be you. I know. Not going to be you. You're going to be a dumbass, right? And you're like, Connor, you're repeating yourself. The reason I clarified this is, there's actually, the main lesson is, in general, you would say, Connor, you agree with him. You probably wouldn't advise, but here's the thing. This is actually the real thing. This is what everyone does implicitly that messes them up, and the reason I say that is you want to be able to understand things very broadly, and I'm going to really explain this in 2 seconds, very simply. You want to know what's going on and what's not going on. You want to know the truth, and here's the thing is, if you understand things, you can save yourself a lot of time, money, effort, and heartache. Okay, that's a given. Now let's actually get to the thing. People moralize everything. They put a moralization on it. And you're saying, Connor, which I say, it's if you strip ethics off of everything for a second and just look at cause and effect, and then you can put your ethics back on and see, what do I think is right and wrong, or what do I like and dislike? That's the order of operations if you want to understand reality. You want to understand people, you want to understand art, you want to understand, literally anything. Finance, you want to understand anything. Fitness, people go, oh, eating sugar is bad for you. You got to understand cause and effect. Okay, the sugar one, people go, sugar is bad for you because you're gonna, people get fat. You're like, why? Well, it's because sugar has a lot of calories, and if you eat too much calories, regardless if it's sugar or protein or friggin' candy bars, you're going to get fat. And if you don't eat enough, you also lose weight. And if you eat the exact right amount, you will stay the same weight. That's physics. And so the whole thing is take away the moralizations so you actually have understanding. And that, they say knowledge is power, but it really is, though. Because it can save you time and make you money, which then can buy back your time, which then can buy you other people's time, right? But also then you know how to talk to people, you know how to, figure out if you want to work with other people and if they want to work with you, and then you can work together and save you both time and money and earn you money, which you can use to buy back time and to invest in building long-term relationships with people, and all these things, there's strategic power to having knowledge, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Very dry video so far, I know, and I started friggin' weed pilled. But the whole reason I say if you strip away the moralization is because Is weed bad? I don't know, but also, I don't think that's the most useful question. I'm not saying it's not a useful question, but I think I know what it is. The most useful question is, what happens? What is the cause and what is the effect? Or I guess for you guys, you're looking this way to that way. So what's the cause and what is the effect? If I ingest this much weed, it will sedate me and I'll be happy with where I am at and what is currently happening. Now, if I were to not be on the influence of weed, THC, CBD combination, and a little, thingy-wingy, if I were to not be under the influence of marijuana, would I still be content with where I'm at? Or would I want to change my life, change what's happening, change what I'm doing, change who I am in relation to myself, change all of that? Would I want to keep it the same if I was sober? And I don't mean to imply that it's the same as alcohol, but the idea being that, okay, do I want to put myself in a state where, very simply, if I am super successful, world-famous rock star, and I'm still stressed out about everything, even though I'm a year ahead and I've got 30 albums I made this year that are amazing, and they're all coming out on release, and I've done everything, and I'm like months ahead and everything, and I'm still worked up, then it's like, okay, well, I should be good with where I'm at, or I think it would be useful for me to make myself feel better about just staying where I'm at because I'm already doing incredible. Staying at the same habits, the same lifestyle, the same activities. I need to I want to get how I psychologically feel from being not okay with where I'm at and to lower the discomfort and put it into a comfortable range, right? So where I am comfortable with where I'm at. But, likewise, so in that case, you would say, okay, what's the effect of implementing the weed? It tends to be people would say sedate you, but really it just means, in general, it makes you feel good about where you're at. Now, of course, some people get anxiety when they have weed and all sorts of things. I'm talking about the general, actual, what is the observed, and here's the thing, when you look at cause and effect, you're saying, what happened and then caused the next thing to happen. When people tend to smoke a lot of weed, they stay with what they're doing because they tend to feel long-term, week to week, month to month, year to year, good with what's happening. It makes them feel better about what is currently happening. They don't want to have change, right? Now, when people do drugs like meth and cocaine and things like that, they then tend to feel, I know it's getting demonetized instantly, I don't even care, it's fine. Because it's important. When people do other drugs like that, you can hear, neuroscientists and all sorts of people talk about this, but the idea being that when you do those drugs, uppers versus downers, so to speak, I don't do any drugs because I got a lot of energy and also I do have a lot of relaxedness. If I just have coffee or go for a run, I can amp myself up and amp myself down without needing any of these things because they tend to, well, first off, they cost money. They have more side effect profiles than me just having a cup of coffee or having a little bit of pre-workout, which has whatever, I'm getting on a tangent, but I could just take something that would increase my blood flow, and caffeine, though it constricts my blood vessels, if at the same time I then take something that opens up my blood vessels and gets more blood flow, and then I start moving and running around, so I can get worked up. I can get energy, right? If I want to relax, there's lots of things you can do. You can, there's lots. You can stretch, you can meditate, you can do yoga. You can go for a really hard workout, a really hard run. You're going to be pretty tired after. Take a nice shower, stretch, lay down, put on some jazz music, some low energy music, right? There's things I can do that are free, relatively free. And have no side effects, no longer term implications on my sleep, longevity, yada, yada, yada. Because I want to stay clicking and ticking, moving and grooving, so I can keep doing the things I like doing. And so if I constantly have, I don't want things that cause problems in the long term, because in the long term, I want to be in an even better spot to do even more of the things I like and less of the things I don't care about, right? So I opt for, personally, instead of weed or heroin or something that would sedate me, and I'm not suggesting that weed and heroin are the same, they're clearly not, right? But something that would make me feel comfortable with where I'm at, I could also just relax. I could also invite a gal over, right? And there's lots of things I can do that calm me down and make me have a good time. But also that lower my heart rate, that lower, and make me feel like, okay, I don't need to really change stuff. But if you're in a place where you're like, no, I don't like what I'm at, I need to figure out something different, I need to figure out a different path for my life, I need to make change, right? Then you don't want to be sedated. Really, you want to be, and that doesn't mean go do cocaine or do methamphetamine. Clearly not, right? But the idea being that then, okay, well then weed's not good. Or not that it's not good, but weed will not help me with what I want to achieve. Weed will not cause the actions I wish to have happen, right? Weed will not be useful. What is the utility, right? So if you're an overachiever who's got hundreds of millions of dollars and you're a world famous rock star and you're doing great and you're still worked up and you think the side effect profile of weed is fine for you, well then weed might have some utility, right? It might be useful, have utility. It might be of use, right? Not having any moral or immoral or no. Useful. If you're someone who's like hates your day job, hates your day-to-day, you feel like I'm overweight and I need to take more actions, I need to make changes and actions. I need a lot of new action, I need new changes, I need to be more upset with where I'm at than I need being the same to be more uncomfortable than changing, right? I'm going to say that again. If you're in a position where you need to make changes, you need to make sure that being where you is feels very uncomfortable, such that it's more uncomfortable to stay the same than it is to go through the discomfort of becoming a new person with a new identity who does different things, maybe moves to a different city, maybe eats different foods, maybe goes to a different place, maybe, whatever it is, maybe breaks off a relationship, has less friends, has more friends, whatever it is, has social anxiety, has less social anxiety. But if you determine that outside of doing any substances or anything, you think, oh, for me, I think it's beneficial to change, well then you need to have discomfort, you need to not be comfortable, because if you're more comfortable staying the same than changing, then you will stay the same. Why would you change if you're more comfortable staying the same? Or at least it's harder, it's less likely that you would change. Versus if you feel very uncomfortable at standing still and you feel very uncomfortable with what's currently going on, that's going to make it a lot easier for you to say, I already feel bad, I might as well get what I want. Honestly, that's the thing, is I could be I'm worked up talking on camera right now, I'm talking to you guys, and I'm getting worked up. It's it would be, if I'm gonna be worked up, oh, I didn't do any videos today, versus, oh, I'm doing a video today, I'm worked up, I'm doing a video. It's well, I'm gonna be worked up either way. I might as well get the thing that I want to do, which is get to talk to you guys and get to share ideas and see what you guys think. And if if you think this is stupid, okay, cool. Tell me in the comments. But if you think this is useful, or if this is inspiring you to think about something, and you're like, oh, you know what that makes me think about? It makes me think about that, and that leads to that. That's friggin' worth it, and that can actually help you. Even if you think my ideas are half-baked and don't make sense, and I'm a friggin' turtle trying to explain, the galaxy and gravity, you might be the friggin' genius Mike Tyson. You might be the friggin' Neil deGrasse Tyson, Neil deGrasse Michael Tyson, who figures it all out. And so this jolly little fellow, Rich coming from the 5'7", Farrell, it's Rich coming from Farrell, calling someone else a little bro right here. I know, I'm amping up my voice, I'm sorry, party people, but a little bro right here, and so is it a fun song, and is this me saying weed is bad, this is gonna mess you up in life if you do weed? No, because that's not true. It depends. If you are moving, grooving, clicking, and ticking, doing what you need to do, then stay on the friggin' weed, right? Or if you like to, if you prefer, if you found it to be useful. If you need to have change, if you need things to be uncomfortable to get you to change, to get to a place where it's less uncomfortable because things are better, then don't. You know what I mean? It's like, you can, if anything, that's where it's like, if I am amped up on coffee, like if I need to change, like right now, like it's like, okay, I want to like do more videos and like really like build this up and be able to have an impact and be, you know, like able to like build a community and find other people and talk to people and like hang out with people and do stuff like that. It's like, then I need to like not be comfortable sitting around doing nothing. If I'm amped up on coffee and I had like, you know, 3 cups of coffee, it's like, holy cow. Like, okay, I'm going to get up and like freaking record. I'm going to talk. Like, I got energy. Let me just go. It's just sitting here thinking about it. Like, let me just do it. Let me just do it. And so like, that becomes useful, right? So you can see very practically, like, I'm not saying coffee's good or bad. It's like, you know, if I'm doing really good and I don't want to do more worked up, it's like, and I don't need more energy, I don't need more discomfort or whatever, right? Then I'm not going to say that like having coffee right now would be a good idea or wouldn't be useful, right? So it's like, if I'm at a good level with whatever I'm doing, then I don't need to introduce coffee. It wouldn't be useful, right? It would actually be disuseful or unuseful. You know, it would be unhelpful to drink more coffee, to be more caffeinated, to have more energy. But if I need to feel uncomfortable, I need to make a shift happen. Like, then weed, marijuana, would be very unhelpful because it would make me feel good about not doing the things I want to do. That I want to do, not like someone told me I should do it or I need to do it. No, like, whatever I want to do. Like, whatever I want to do. If this thing is not going to help with that, then it's like, why? It's not useful. And so you can take off the moral layer of weed's going to make you a dum-dum, a dumbass, right? And just go, you know, odds are you're watching this video, you're probably closer to my age, but let's say you friggin' live off of like 10 grand a year, right? Maybe 20 grand, including some rent, but if you're living with family, and you're like, you have like a bougie job, you went to college, now you're making like 100K, but even if like, let's say you're a friggin' plumber making 50K, or like 120K, just like friggin', you know, some people would be like, oh, well, I'm not like super rich. It's like, you don't need to be friggin' super rich guy. But like, if you're like, this is good, I like this level, and like, I'm working up and I'm building a thing, and like, I'm saving like a bunch of money, and I can put it in a money market, by the way. But like, I've got I can put some money in stocks, I can put some money in like this, I can put some into Bitcoin, some into gold, do whatever, you know, you feel like, or I can put some money down on a real estate property, or where I'm saving up for something. Like, if you're feeling good and like, you're like, you know, making take home, you know, after tax, like 5 times what you even spend in a year. It's like, I mean, for me, I'd be like, yeah, and as long as I like my job relatively and I like what I'm doing, then I'd keep doing that, or I would use that money to set myself up to be in a scenario where I'm making 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 times take home money than what I actually live off of. Like, for me, I think I did the math, like, in Austin, Texas, if I'm not including rent and utilities, like, I only need like 10K a year. Like, not need, but like, I can definitely live, like, food, gas, you know what I mean, stuff like that, clothing, you know, like, I can live off of like under 10 grand. So I'm like, okay, this is really good. Because then, like, if I take home 20 grand a year, I'm making 10 grand a year. So if I have a medical emergency, well, I have a couple of years of saving up 10 grand. Like, it's like, if you can drop down your cost and then bump up like how much you make relative to it, then it's like the zone to be comfortable is like way easier. It's like once you're comfortable, and like, because here's the thing is like, if I only need like, let's say I only need like 15 grand a year to like live off of, to like just be chilling and like my lifestyle, then like I can choose to do stuff even if like YouTube only makes me like 20 grand a year. I say only, but I mean like, because some people are like, I need to make like $100,000 a year, I make $300,000 a year, I need to make like all this money, or or let's say like you're like, okay, I'm working this day job, I make like 50K a year, but I hate it, and stocks and corporate politics and everything, it's sucking my life away. And if I did YouTube, I could make 20 grand a year. I only need 15 to live off of. Then you're like, oh, okay. And so like if I was full time doing YouTube, and on top of that, like, spend 15 grand, but I have 5 grand extra at the end of the year, well, what's going to happen? Well, next year, I'm going to be making more money off YouTube because I'm going to be spending 40 hours a week on YouTube. So the YouTube's going to keep growing. And to get your YouTube to double, you know, from whatever, like 2,000 subs to 4,000 or 1,000 to 2,000, like, okay, well then you make double, right? 2,000, 4,000, 4,000, 8,000. Like, well now I make double. So I can take 20 and turn it to 40K a year, into 80K a year, into 160K a year, into 320K a year. So, oh, after 5 years, I'm closer to making like way more than I would have made in my freaking day job thingy, except now I'm doing something I like, and so that like threshold to be comfortable, I would say focus on lowering your threshold to be comfortable, along with like figure out, like, so this is something where it's like maybe instead of smoking weed because I feel like worked up about like my predicament, like I can just figure out like, oh wait, okay, what's the cheapest I could reasonably make my like food and money or food budget and like these things that I could actually still like eat food. Like I eat just like freaking chicken breast and protein powder and eggs and steak and Greek yogurt and stuff. And like I feel like I'm eating like a king. I'm eating tons of fruit and veggies. Like I have a bunch of rice. I have mac and cheese every once in a while. Like, you know, it's like I feel freaking awesome. And like I'm not spending that much on like food and stuff. And so it's just like, okay, it's like feels pretty good. Like I have really good gas mileage in my car. Like it's just a really good like car, and I accelerate slow and I decelerate slow. And how much gas you use is like directly related to how hard or soft you accelerate. And so if you just barely, like if you just very slowly start when the light turns green and brake gradually before the light, like you can make the, you know, your gas tank last like 4 to 5 to 10 times as long. I'm kidding. But the whole point being is like, okay, well, if I don't sedate myself and I'm not comfortable with my predicament, I can then figure out like what's the lowest I can make my cost. So then the things that I like doing that make enough is a way bigger range of things, because I don't need to figure out how can I make 100K first year off of YouTube within a year or two. It's like, how can I make 15K? You're like, that's much more doable than 100. Like, literally 1/10, or I guess 1/6. Yeah, because 16.66 got it. 1/6 of, you know, the difficulty. Now, let's say if it doubles, then like, okay, maybe it's like half the difficulty. Maybe it's half a year's time. Still, it's like, it's a very different number, very different game, and now the number of things I can choose to do, you know, is different. And if you can do something that then is reliant only on you and can scale infinitely, like YouTube videos, how many people can watch this video right now? 1 million! And, you know, so even if like one person, you're watching it, no one else, you didn't share it to a friend, nothing. Like, doesn't change. Like, someone in 5 years from now, you know, here's the funny thing, I keep forgetting that, like, people in 5 years from now are going to come back and watch this video because they're going through the channel and they're like, man, I was like bored and like I ran out of other videos to watch and like, let me go back and watch this one. And they're going to freaking watch this and be like, man, look at what this guy's talking about. Like, I guess this is like the freaking origin story of like Conor O'Farrell. This is crazy. The whole point is, will weed make you a dumbass? Will weed kill you? No. Will coffee make you freaking lunatic, anxiety pills, freaking freakazoid? No. Well, coffee's not bad, weed's not bad. Or good. Maybe they are bad or good. I don't know. But will they be useful? Right? So it's like, I want to equip you with the tools, and you should have this mindset when you're talking to people and yourself. I recommend you have this mindset. You do whatever you please at your discretion. Play around with anything I suggest. That sounds compelling to you, that you like to try out. But I suggest, and because I found it to be useful, personally, to think about, okay, how does this relate to cause and effect? How does it relate to what I'm going through, what I want to achieve, and things like that? Does it work? Does it support that? Or does it move me away from that? Does it help me do more of the things I'd like to be doing, or less of the things I'd like to be doing, right? And, yeah, I'm just really grateful for you guys, like, coming and hanging out and talking about that with me, but let me know what you think. Do you smoke weed? I don't really smoke weed, so maybe I'm wrong about what weed does. I'm just like some guy who's hearing about it. But I'm doing pretty good without smoking weed. I'm starting to feel a lot better. Getting my coffee in. And yeah, I'm just going to keep, you know, moving, grooving, clicking, and ticking. Boom, boom, boom! Big booms! Let's see. We need a thumbnail for this video. Let's see, let's go. Friggin'. There we go. There's a freaking thumbnail for you. Anyways, outro. Check the description. If you like rock and roll, you like music, whatever, check it out. But yeah, even if you don't, just freaking stick around. I'm a silly, goofy little guy. Anyways, that's gross. That's gross. Why did I do that? I don't even know. Freaking mean of me to fart on you guys. It's mean. I'm not a mean guy. Maybe I am.